So that makes it also the deepest of the 4 major Virginia rivers. So very strategic port. Yorktown has always been of significant importance to anybody who's owned it since it was first established in the late 1600s. It became a king's port, and ever since then has been important militarily or just shipping wise. Back in the colonial period and thereafter, while most transport was still done between England and America by sailboat, Yorktown was a great thriving community here, with depths in the 60s under this bridge, the deepest spot being over 90 feet. Great harbor right there behind Gloucester Point. Lots of tobacco plantations would bring their produce down and load up the ships, and they'd anchor back in this little wide part of the river behind the bridge and hang out until they were fully loaded and ready to sail. When they did, they'd sail right out the river into the Chesapeake Bay, into the ocean, and away they go. The York River extends about 25 miles up that way. All of that way it's navigable. Once you get up to West Point, it's still navigable. There's just some bridges there now that make tall ships not be able to get up past there. But the Mattaponi and Pamunkey rivers come together around West Point to form the York. And both of them still average in the 40s and the 30s as far as depths. So they're still great deep water rivers. The York River then continues about 8 miles in that direction, where it goes to the Chesapeake Bay. You can't see the Chesapeake Bay from here, really. You can kind of see the end of the York River, but not really into the Chesapeake Bay at all. If you were to get down there, which with this wind would take us forever, because all this is apparent wind, we are moving with our motor, not the sails and current, trying to find some better wind. So, it would take us forever with no motor, and if we did use the motor, it would still take us quite a ways to get there. So we will not be making it all the way to the Chesapeake Bay. But if you were to, and turn right and go south about 20 more miles, you would end up in the North Atlantic. So that's where everything is. The York River is entirely salt water from its headwaters in West Point all the way down to the Chesapeake Bay. So we get the same great variety of marine life you may be familiar with, including, of course, my favorite, dolphins, as well as the occasional sea turtle, some very lost seals, as well as several different varieties of good-eating fish and crabs, clams, scallops, mussels, oysters. All that can be found right here in the York River, so that's pretty cool. As far as man-made sites on the river go, my personal favorite is the Victory Monument, which is pretty much dead as
Stand by to drive.